All right. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody is feeling good. I'm definitely feeling a lot better than I was last week. So that is amazing. Today we are going to be talking about swing trading on a Liberty scanner. But before we talk about that, we just need to talk about the different styles of trading that exist in general. So just drop in the chat if you know, no, drop in the chat what type of trader you are. Out of the type of traders that you know about, what type of trader are you? And then I'll go over the different types of traders, and I'll talk about the benefits a little bit. And then we will talk about swing trading specifically. Okay, intraday scalpers, still trying to figure it out. Day traders, scalpers, scalper. Okay, okay. So pretty much there are different levels to trading. And this just basically says how quick do you take your profit or how long do you stay in your trade. So the first type of trader would be considered a scalper, right? So scalpers are in and out of the market. So people who trade HFX, you're definitely a scalper. You literally are getting in and out with the bag so quick. And scalpers typically stay in their trades anywhere from 1 to 15 minutes, right? 1 to 15 minutes. That would be considered a scalper. Literally, you're staying in the trades very short. Even if you are doing Forex trading, you're literally getting in at the start of every 15 candle. You're either buying and selling every 15 minutes, simply because you just want to see which profit you can make off of short, quick market movements, right? HFX traders are definitely scalpers because we be in the market for what, 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minutes. If you are into HFX, which is a lot of people here, just drop the most money that you've made in 1 to 3 minutes. So that the people who are not scalpers, people who have been traditional Forex can see, or maybe people who may be new can see, all right, I can see why they like to scalp. So the question is, how much money have you made? The most money you've made in the shortest amount of time. So for me personally, being a scalper, okay, $79. And how long did you make that? How long did it take you guys to make that money as well? Make sure you drop that in the chat. $170 in 1 minute. 5 minutes for Jameen. That's amazing, Ruby. $45 in 30 seconds. Okay. All right. All right. That's amazing. The most I personally made is 1890, and of course 1 minute with HFX. So we can see how scalping can be beneficial. You're making your gas money, your groceries, a bill, your rent, in literally a matter of seconds or minutes. So that is why people love scalping. So next we have our intraday traders, right? Our day traders, which means that you're going to take your profit anywhere from 15 minutes to a couple of hours, 15 minutes to the entire day. But basically, you are getting in and out of your trades within a market day, right? We know the market is pretty much 24/7, but let's just say the banks are open from 8 to 5. You are just making your money in that day. So anywhere from 15 minutes to a couple of hours, 15 minutes to a full trading day, right? You will be considered an intraday trader. Most of us are day traders, right? If we take signals from any signals chats that you're in, or anytime you look at your harmonic scanner or you look at your Liberty scanner to find Forex trade ideas, you are being a day trader, right? Because you are setting your stop loss, which means that that's a place where you want it to take you out the market. You actually can close a trade when it hits stop loss and still be in profit. And or your trade is hitting TP again, all within a couple of hours. Then we have swing traders, right? And swing trading is what we're going to talk about today. Swing traders are in their trades for a few days, right? We're picking a position and we are in the trade for a few days. So that means that instead of analyzing the chart or maybe the 1 minute as a scalper, the 5 minute as a scalper, or even the 15 minute as a scalper, we're analyzing our chart on the 4 hour, right? Minimum, all the way up until a month, right? All the way up until no, all the way up until a few days. I'm sorry, a few days. So you may get into a trade on Monday, and then get out of the trade on Wednesday. You may get into a trade on Monday and get out of the trade on Friday. So essentially, you could be entering 2 or 3 trades a week and making all of your money simply because you found a really good position and you decided to hold that trade. As you guys can see, I asked some people who are on my direct team how much they made from a Euro NZD trade. that I believe I called on Sunday or Monday, because I knew that this trade would be dropping for a while just based on the analysis. So no matter when you decided to get into the trade, you would definitely be in profit. And that's why Tariana was able to turn 50 cents into $29, and while Vanessa was able to turn 10 cents into $12 simply by holding the trade, right? So this is something, a concept that we need to understand is hold, don't fold. Like, can everybody just drop hold, don't fold in the chat, right? Because as HFX traders, we get anxiety even if we got to be in the trade for 5 minutes. Like, even if we got to be in the trade for 5 minutes, we just be like, no, ma'am, that's too long. But holding and not folding will definitely increase your chances. The further your entry point, the further the market moves away from your entry point, whether you're buying or selling. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen with y'all. When y'all can see my screen, just drop some sevens in the chat, and we are going to go ahead and get right into it. So again, shout out to the people that got y'all notebooks. Shout out to the people that went to get your notebooks, because this is a critical information. So sevens in the chat. If you can see my screen, let me go ahead and hide that. All right, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. So we are going to be using the Liberty Scanner. And again, this video is going to be called Hold Don't Fold, Swing Trading on a Liberty Scanner. So if you have the HFX package, you can log right into this. You can log right into your Liberty Scanner. All right, let me do that. And voila, this is what it's going to look like. Now today we are going to be looking at longer trades, so we won't be using the smaller time frames. But let's go through the trading checklist. It's not the HFX trading checklist. It's just going to be the trading checklist, because this training is really geared more towards FRX trades. So of course the steps are the same, but what we're looking at is going to change. So first and foremost, we want to check our news. Again, I'm going to say this at the beginning of every single video because this may be somebody's first time watching a video. You have to do 3 types of analysis when you are trading. There's your fundamental analysis, where you're checking out what's going on in the market overall. Fundamental analysis consists of your news, right? And just the information that you collect before you actually get into a trade. Then there is your technical analysis, right? And technical analysis is when we look at our scanner, and we're using those technical indicators like the Bollinger Bands, like the EMA, like the Stochastic, like the RSI, like the Parabolic SAR, like the Ichimoku Cloud, and all the other different indicators that you see preloaded onto your chart when you open a strategy. Those are considered technical indicators, and that is your technical analysis. So when we go through and we do our trigger words, we ask ourselves the questions: what color is my candle? Is it above or below the SAR? Is it under the lines, or whatever you're asking? That is your technical analysis. And that's one of the most critical parts of knowing when to get into the market. Now, when it comes to Forex trading, it's all important, whether you're doing HFX or Forex, but knowing when to make the right move based on where the indicator is at, since we're not really expecting the market to make the move right now, is extremely important. And I'll demonstrate that when we actually get into the chart. And the third type of analysis is just sentimental analysis. And this is just you using your gut or your intuition after you've already checked the news, done your fundamental, check your indicators, done your technical. You're like, all right, this is actually like, I feel good about this. So your sentimental analysis is more focused on your feelings. And it's really the only time you want to not even use your emotions, but the only time you want to bring your feelings into the chart is after you've looked at everything that's logical and being like, okay, I feel like this is a pretty good idea. So there's fundamental, right? This consists of checking your news and checking your currency strength, right? Which will be step 2, right? Since we are not doing HFX on this trading checklist, step 2 is to check your live charts. So, okay, we come to forexfactory.com. Now, remember, we're going to be holding this trade for a few days. So we need to look at the news for a few days. We're not just concerned with the time it is right now, right? It's around 10:30 a.m. We're not just concerned with AUD right now. We need to be concerned with AUD for the week, right? So depending on when you're going to enter your swing trades, just always look at the news for at least 1 to 3 days. So to open up more news, you're going to see this right here, right in the corner. It says more. So let's just open it up and look at the news for the week. Now, what I'll do is I'll see which pairs are in the clear for the day. Today is Tuesday. And let's just say I'm going to be doing Euro USD all week, right? I will want to look at the Euro and USD for the week. So on Tuesday, Euro USD looks good. So if I were to enter my trade today, I'm good. On Wednesday, I see Euro and USD has orange folder. So if I know I'm gonna be holding this trade, let's just say I go for a buy. I know it may be a little bit of reversals, a little bit of nonsense happening on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, it's looking like the USD has even more news. So since I kind of know what's going on with the USD all week, based on the colors of the folder, we know yellow is good, right? Or no folder at all. Orange is a little sketchy, and red we just kind of avoid. So back to the drawing board. USD, Euro USD looking a little sketchy, so we're not we're gonna stay away from that, right? Let's say if we wanted to do Euro GBP. I see GBP is good. I see Euro is good. I see it's a little shakiness on the Euro, but depending on the confirmations we're gonna have, we may can go forward with it. GBP looks good on Wednesday. Euro looks good on Thursday and Friday. I don't see anything alarming. So essentially, you want to pick one major, which is going to be Euro, USD, and then look at it for the week. That's going to be step one, right? So you can take your notes, get a little trading notebook similar to this, right? I keep my trading notebook handy because I don't want to keep going back and forth between pages. I want to write down a quick note. So I'll say USD, shaky, right? And I'll say Euro, good for the week, because we need more insight since we're going to be in this trade longer, right? So since my Euro is good for the week, let me go to my step 2, and I'm going to go to live charts because I need to know where the market is at when I enter. Okay, so I see Euro is looking good, right? Again, on live charts, I see Euro. I'm going to give it a check, and I'm going to just see what versus what right now, what will be a good position to take, right? So I can do Euro CHF, Euro JPY, basically anything with Euro, since Euro looks like it's on the upswing right now. So now I just know in my mind, I'm just going to write down Euro crosses, good for the week, right? I'm going to just write that down. So if you guys are following me so far, right, just drop some 2s in the chat. Let me know y'all are up and awake. All right, awesome. So now we're actually going to go to our Liberty scanner, right? We should only now, since we checked the climate initially of the market, we only have to really come back, I would say, and check live charts every couple of hours, depending on which way your trade is going. So we know we're doing Euro crosses. Now you come to your Liberty scanner and you choose your strategy. We are going to use simple scalper, the regular one. Let me write that down. Right. So when you go to your strategy, it doesn't automatically switch to the pair that you want. So let's just start with everything. So I'm gonna type in Euro, and the first one that pops up is Euro AUD. So I'm gonna type in Euro AUD, right? And I'm going to start my analysis instead of on the 15-minute, right, or the 5-minute or the 1-minute where we start. We're gonna automatically switch this to what's happening for the week, right? What's happening for the week? So you automatically want to switch your chart for the week. That's the first thing you want to do. So step 1, choose your strategy. Step 2, choose your currency pair. Step 3, change it to the view by the week, right? And this is where we're actually going to start to collect our confirmations on whether or not we should even enter this trade, and how long do we really want to stay in it. So by looking at this, right, this looks just like our, let me just take it back to the 1-minute chart. This looks just like our 1-minute chart. The candles aren't in the same place, but nothing about the analysis changed except how often your candles are forming. So think about, sometimes when I think about the how often it's posted, I'll say, imagine each of these candles are a bus, and this is the frequency at which the bus runs, right, every week. So that means every week there's one candle that's going to be formed. So we can say that for the entire week, for every trade that happened, every 1-minute trade, every 5-minute trade, every 15-minute trade, this market was still selling overall, right? This market was still selling overall because we have a red candle. And I'll just go over the trigger words really quickly so that you know what to look for, because each of these are a week. So this is 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 weeks. So in the last month, right, it was a selling month, then it was a buying month, then it was a super strong buying month, and now this month, since the beginning of the week, it's looked like it's been selling all week, right? And we know that the market for the last week, for the last 2 weeks, actually, we could take a horizontal line. You want to do the same steps that you always do. Take a horizontal line, right? Once you're on your week chart, and you want to put a horizontal line, you get it from your left panel over here. Click this little arrow, click horizontal line. I always change it black just to make it a different color from anything on my screen. And you want to do the same thing, right? You want to build yourself a house. So you want to put a roof, right? Make sure that it's at the top of your current candle. And then you want to also put another horizontal line at the bottom of your current candle. Now it doesn't matter how close it is to your candle. It could be this close, right? It can be this close. As long as your candle fits between your two lines, you're good to go. Now I just like to give my candle just a little bit of breathing room, just in case anything happens. But that's what you want to do, right? You really want to figure out what is the highest place that this market, right, has been for the week, and what is the lowest place that this market has been for the week. And that's really why you're putting those lines there. And let me see if my text is going to stay. I don't know how to lock it, but I'm going to just say, and I'm going to associate the color with the analysis, and I'm going to say this is week. I'm going to just put the week, right? It's for the week. We know that the black line is for the week. So when you're using this strategy, right, after you have set up your lines on, you're going to do this on every single time frame. You're just going to put a horizontal line at the top of the candle, and you're going to put it at the bottom of the candle on a few different time frames. I'm going to just show you why. We really just want to track price for the entire time just to confirm if it was selling for the week. That means that it was selling for the majority of most of the days, which means it was selling for the majority of most of the hours, which means it was selling for the majority of most of the minutes. But you really just need to visually see this just to confirm if this is a good trade that you should be getting into for the long run, right? So first and foremost, always remember to put your lines on every time frame. Now, on this time frame, let's actually go through the confirmations and see why this is a good sell setup. So again, have your handy dandy little notebook. I'm going to write mine on the screen so that you guys can see it, but this is what I would do, right, on this strategy. We got the buyers, as always, right, and the sellers. We want to take a tally mark just to confirm, is this trend really as strong as it is? And you can put a little W right there so you know what's for the week. So question number one is, what color is the current candle? The current candle is red. And we know that that's a trigger word for the sell. So the sellers will get a first point. Cool. Question number two. Is the candle above or below your SAR? Right? And we know that the candle is above, right? And if it's above the SAR, that means price is a little high. It's above the trend. So we're going to give that point to the buyers, right? The third question you will ask yourself is, what color is the volume bar under the candle? And if it's a strong trend, 9 times out of 10, the candle and the volume bar should be the same color. So if you get the answer red, we know red is always going to be associated with the sellers. So we're going to go ahead and give the sellers another point. So for the week, it looks like the sellers are up. They're winning. Now, these last two indicators down here are extremely important. We have the stochastic oscillator, which is this. This actual line is the stochastic line, but the entire thing is the indicator. And then we have the RSI. You're gonna notice that these things are pretty much doing the same exact thing. But what you really want to notice is what direction is the line facing, because that's going to literally tell you which way the market is going. So anybody with eyes, right, can answer this question. Are the stochastic and RSI facing up or down? And is this confirming a buy or a sell? Somebody with eyes, tell me what's going on, right? Down. Yep, sell. Down, sell, down, sell, down, sell. Exactly. So we're going to go ahead and give the sellers 2 more points, right? So we can confirm that for the week, the sellers are in control. So if we wanted to get into this trade, right, we would know that we can get into the trade at the start of a new week and see what's happening, or we can just take it down to a smaller time frame so that we can at least catch a little bit of momentum off of this trade. So let me erase some of this stuff. All right, cool. So we got our confirmations on the week. I wish I can lock this in. Can I lock this? I think I could lock it. All right, good. And I'm gonna lock my lines in as well so that they don't move. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna take it down to the day. And let's see what's really been happening on the day. Wow, look at this, right? Let's do our little annotations for the day, because on the week, we already know for sure we are selling, right? And if we would have gotten to this trade at the top of the day, which would have been midnight, right, we would be in deep profits on that sell. Now let's just do the same thing again. Let's see if when do we get into this trade? Is this trade a good trade to take for the week? So now we have moved into a day analysis. So we can look at this and see for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? We're gonna focus on these 7 candles right here, because that's also going to tell us what's been happening for the week. So let's get some more horizontal lines on here, right? Same thing. Come to the left panel, choose your horizontal line. But you're going to change the color, and of course, make sure you keep in mind which colors you're using. I just always do black, hot pink, lime green, turquoise, orange. That's how I know my levels. So on the day, we're gonna put a horizontal line right there, and we're gonna put another one at the bottom of the candle, right? Because we're seeing for the day, has this market been selling, right? Based on the questions that you can remember, right? How many confirmations do y'all see for a sell on the day? Somebody let me know if you remember the questions or you have your confirmation checklist next to you. Just ask yourself those same questions. What color is the current candle? Is the candle above or below the SAR? What color is the volume bar? Is the stochastic and RSI facing up or down? Now, for me, I can see that this looks like sell, 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 sell all the way. I see every confirmation for a sell. If you guys see more than 4 confirmations for a sell, just drop 4 in the chat. If you see more than confirmations, I'm going to count the ones I see. I see my candle, which is red. I see the candle is under the SAR, right? I see that my volume bar is red, and I can clearly see with my eyes that the stochastic and RSI are facing down, telling me that this market is dropping. So not only do we have the week, right? We got sellers on the week. If we check the day, we got sells on the day. I mean, we got the sellers are winning for the day. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know what I meant, right? So now we got 2 confirmations, right? 2 total confirmations, 2 major confirmations that this is a selling market. And it's looking like if we wanted to get into this market for at least a day, we know that it would continue to probably sell, right? It would continue to sell. Or we can zoom out, right? And just see what usually happens at this place in the market. Once the market reaches this point, what typically happens? Does it sell when it hits this pink line, or does it buy? Right? Somebody tell me. When the market hits this pink line, does it typically sell or does it typically buy? Right? What do we think is about to happen? Right? So we can see that it can continue to sell, right? It may hit a support and it may decide to go back up like it did in the past, because we do have some action over here, right? But let's actually just keep diving a little bit deeper to see what's happening on the 4 hour, right? So let's bring this down to the 4 hour. And look at this, y'all. Now let's change our horizontal lines. Remember, every time frame, you always want to add your lines so you can just see where the resistance is and where the support is, right? And make sure your candle is in the box. And make sure you remember which colors you're using for every time frame, right? So it's looking like we have a red candle, right? It's still under the SAR. It's still a red volume bar. And it's actually still selling even though these lines are facing down. But what do we notice about the 4 hour, right? And this is where the indicators actually come into play and really start to make sense for the longer time frame. Now, if we were looking at this on the 4 hour, we know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these candles will equal a day, right? 6 of these candles will equal a day. So we can still visually see, right? The point is just to confirm your indicators on all levels just to make sure you're okay to go into that trade. If we look at these 6 candles, right, which will be a day because these are 4-hour candles. 4 times 6 is 24 hours. If we actually look at these candles, right, we can literally see that. Do you see more? Sorry, I'm trying to turn this a different color. There we go. Do you see more red candles or more blue candles that happened within the last day? Right? We see more red candles. So we already know that on the day, this market was selling because we've looked at it on the day. Now, if we look at 4-hour candles just to see what was happening on the 4-hour time frame, we can still see that, of course, the market was selling. But we know we're going to see this. We just want to confirm, all right, do I get in? When do I get in? Do I get in on the 4-hour? Do I get in on the 8-hour? Do I get in on the day? Right? Now, if I was looking at this on the 4-hour chart, I would say, okay, this is still facing down. And let me just make these lines down here a little bit thicker so we can actually see what's going on, because this is actually important. Understanding the overbought and oversold indicator in regards to Forex trades. Okay, so we got that. And let's do the same thing for this. Just so we can see what's going on here. All right. Now, that's the easy part up here, right? Identifying like the trend. Is it a strong trend? On different time frames. And we can still see that the market is, regardless of what it's been doing, all these have become resistance levels. If it comes here, it's going to sell. We can see that there. If it comes here, it's going to sell. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. Now, when we're looking at the stochastic and the RSI, right, you want to see either that, like if you're going for a sell, you want to see that this line is facing down, right? But you also want it to really be, the best time is to really get in when you see that this stochastic or RSI line is up here. Like once the market crosses this red line, whether it's on a stochastic or RSI, is considered overbought, right? That means that there are too many buyers in the market and that the market is going to sell. Now, just because it crosses up here, let's look right here. Let me get my pencil. Just because it crosses up, right, into the overbought area, that doesn't mean that it's automatically going to sell, because we can see that it actually stayed up there, right? We see these blue candles, right, that correspond with what was happening. It was going up. The line was facing up. The market was going up, right? These candles were still blue, even though it was still oversold and overbought, and it was a lot of buyers in the market, right? Now, look what happens. Once you see, right, that the line actually starts to cross this red line, once it actually crossed, that is the best indicator that the trend is officially changing, right? Now, it can be up here. It can be up here, but once it crosses, you'll notice that the trend is changing. Now, imagine if we would have gotten for the sell right here, right? Even though it was a little blue arrow, a little resistance, if we would have gotten to the market right here, once we would have saw the cross, that's a huge indicator. We would have had our red candle. We would have had it under the SAR, right? We would have had our red volume bar, and we would have had the cross, right? If you see the cross about to happen, or once the cross actually happens, that's really your best indicator to get in, because it's telling you, all right, the trend has officially changed. Now, let's just see how much money we could have made just by counting those indicators on a longer time frame, and how long it would have took us to hit TP, right? Okay, we're going to get our ruler, right? If we would have stayed in this trade, okay, for 3 days, right? 3 days, y'all, just because all of our confirmations would have aligned on a longer time frame, that would have been 11 candles, which is equivalent to 3 days and 20 hours, right? Almost 4 days. That would have been 260 pips, right? That would have been 260 pips just because you got into a trade one time and you decided to hold that trade for 3 days, right? 260 pips. Now, if you would have used a 10-cent risk, which is the smallest risk that you can use on MetaTrader 4, that would have been $26, right? If you would have used, let's just say, a 30-cent risk, right? If you would have used a 30-cent risk, let's do the math, right? 30 cents times 260 pips, that would have been $78, y'all, just from getting into a trade one time and holding it on your MetaTrader 4. Now imagine a person who has a bigger account, right? And we're all going to get there one day. Imagine somebody risked $10 per pip. $10 per pip, right? We would do $10 times 260 pips. And in one trade, they would have made $2,600, right? Even somebody who would have put in $1 would have made $260. And that's just from waiting and holding the trade, knowing that it was selling since we looked at it over the week, the month, and the days, right? If this is making sense to somebody, right, drop some sevens in the chat if this is making sense, right? Because I really need y'all to understand that holding and not folding is really where it's at, right? Holding, not folding is really where it's at. So where do we get in, right? Where would we have gotten in? Now, you could have gotten in at, well, let me just keep going, right? Now let's look at the hour time frame. On the hour time frame, we see the same thing. So let me just add my orange lines as well, right? I'm adding my orange lines as well. I know that's my smaller time frame, and it's still selling, right? I still have the confirmations for the sell. Even if we were analyzing this on the hour, look at this, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15, right? 15 candles. Let's see how much we would have made, even if we would have gotten right here, right? Because let's see what we have even on the hour time frame. What do we have here, right? We have a red candle, confirmation, right? We have the candle under the SAR, right? This is actually the candle that the SAR switched on, right? 2 confirmations. We got a red volume bar, 3 confirmations. And look at this, y'all. What do we have? A beautiful, beautiful cross, right? A beautiful cross, not only on the RSI, but on the stochastic as well. I honestly forget which one is which. Just know that they twins and they do the same thing, right? Real sisters. So here we go. We're going to take this ruler and we're going to see how many pips we would have got, even if we would have gotten into this trade on a smaller time frame, right? Now, remember, we could have been holding it for days, right? Holding it for days. Wow, look at this, y'all. In 14 hours, right? 14 hours, that's not even a full day. This is for my intraday traders, right? You could have gotten into this trade at the beginning of the day, been in that trade for less than 24 hours, and you could have made, even on the smallest lot size, right? This is 121 pips, right? So risking 10 cents, you could have made $12, right? Risking $1, you would have made $121. Risking $2, you would have made $142 from getting into this trade one time, right? In 14 hours. Now, again, we can keep going smaller and smaller. We can just keep confirming that this is a strong trend. Look at that on the 30. That's when it get a little sketchy. We probably would have had a little pushback, but for the most part, it's still selling, right? It's still under our 200 EMA, which is here, telling us that the trend is still low. Now let's just zoom out, right? And look at all of our markups, right? You can look at all of your markups and see other times in the market where that thing was done. So we can see for the week, remember that's our first markup, hold on, I need my pencil. We can see for the week that the market really stayed in this area, right? It stayed in the same area, right? It hasn't gone higher than this, right? And it's been selling. So we can do for the week. We can see that this was the low for the week. This was the high. This was the low, right? Look at it, right? On a bigger time frame. We know for a fact that the market is going to continue to sell at least until it reaches this number, right? 1.61389. We know that it's going to keep selling from where it's at until it gets to that number, because we're looking at it. We're looking at it literally for the week. And then once it comes back down, guess what? It's probably going to go back up to the high, right? And this is for a week. So if you can hold the trade and have that patience, then you can capitalize on all of those pips. Now, if we look at it for the day, let me just switch it up. If we look at it for a day, we know that this is the low for the day. This is the high for the day. It's approaching the low for the day, right? Then it might go back up for the high for the day, right? And this is for the day. But we know overall it's still selling, right? And even if you did want to zoom out, this is the 30-minute chart, right? This is the 30-minute chart. So it's letting you know that if you want to get in at 11, 11:30, 12, 12:30, right? 1, 1:30. We know that you have any of those opportunities to get in because the market is going to continue to sell. And this is for your MetaTrader 4, right? If this is making sense, y'all, right? If it's still making sense, y'all still getting it, just drop sevens in the chat. Because it's really, really, really that simple. Now let's just go back to the day chart really quickly, right? If we go back to the day chart really quickly, and the pink is for the day, right? We can see that for the day, this John is going to keep selling, right? It has already crossed, right? This is the very first candle that it crossed on. It's looking like, let me just take it back to the 4 real quick. The SAR is already at the top on the 4 hour. And although it is oversold, right? Once it crosses this blue line at the bottom, that means that it's too many sellers in the market and that it's going to start to buy soon. But once we go back to the day, we know that that's not happening right this second. For sure, not going to happen right now. Like, it hasn't even been oversold on the day yet. The buyers are not ready to start buying. We still see some strong momentum on that candle. Like, look how down slope facing that is. Like, this is really facing very down, telling us that this thing is going to keep dropping. So if you guys did actually want to, we can actually see what's going to happen. In 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, let me just put this on the hour. In 3 minutes, right, at 11 a.m., another candle is going to form, because now we're looking at this on the hour. We got our little handy dandy timer right there telling us that in 2 minutes and 18 seconds, another candle is going to form. If I'm not mistaken, right, it's looking like that candle may be another sell candle, because that's just where the market is at. Like, that's just where the market is at. Let me just zoom out and see, where is this EMA? There's a lot of colors going on here. Oh, this is amazing. This is what we love to see, because look at this, y'all. On the hour, look at this EMA. Let me see if I can make it thicker so we really can see what's going on here. I'm gonna change the EMA line to, what color is not on my screen? Turquoise, right? I'm gonna change the, no, that's too light, but we really need to see what's going on. I'll make it a dotted line, a dotted black line, because we need to really see what's going on here. Maybe I'll make it crosses. All right, perfect. Look at this. I made the EMA look like a railroad track. So the EMA tells us the average place of where, hold on, let me check something real quick. Let me see what trade was just called. Oh, AUD, NZD. That don't got nothing to do with this. So Euro AUD, whenever you guys see the candles are above, right, this EMA, that means that that's a strong indicator for a buy, right? So the market was up. It was up for a while. It was actually up for a hot while, right? But whenever you see the candles under this EMA, that's telling you that the market is going to sell. And look at this beautiful thing, y'all. The candle is just crossing the EMA. That is like amazing, right? That tells us that price is really about to turn around. So that's really a great thing to see. If you see that the candles, and let me tell you guys about this middle Bollinger Band. The middle Bollinger Band is another moving average. So if candles are under it, if you want to dive a little bit deeper and ask yourself more questions, if candles are under this middle Bollinger Band, let's just make it a little thicker so that we can see her, right? And we can make it a dotted line just so that it's, well, I'll do it like that. So once the candles are under the middle Bollinger Band plus the EMA, that's just like, oh my God, for sure sell. So let's just go to MetaTrader 4 and let's get into this Euro AUD trade for a sell, right? Bitcoin is breaking my heart. Nothing new about that. Euro AUD, we're going to go to trade. We're going to get in for a sell. No. Sorry, my thing froze. But when you guys get in, let me know. Let me know when you are in. And I'm trying to get in myself so I don't miss the entry. Euro AUD. So, all right, we're in. So we pretty much saw that the candles not only crossed under the EMA, but they also crossed under the middle Bollinger Band, telling us that this thing is going to continue to sell, even though we know it's over sold down here and it has to start buying, that doesn't mean that it's going to start buying right away. So let me just zoom out to show you guys how important, especially on longer time frames, how important, and let me put this back on 4 hour just so y'all can see how important the middle Bollinger Band and the EMA cross actually is. It's so valid. So valid. Let me just make this smaller. All right, there we go. So once you see, and just pay attention basically to the black lines right now. And you pretty much want to pay attention to areas where these black lines cross. So let's look right here because this one looks so beautiful and it's a really great example. So we can see right here, look at this beautiful EMA, right? EMA is the crosses, and then this middle line is the middle Bollinger Band, right? We see it crossed. Look at this beautiful cross. And then what happened? We have a blue candle, right? With above the SAR, right? With a blue volume bar. Line is facing up with a lot of momentum, right? And then we actually see that blue, 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 blue. It bought. The market actually continued to buy from this point on, right? Until there was another cross. Now, let me just zoom out so y'all can see how crucial this is, right? Because we could have just took, right? We could have just took a short trade from here to here. So let's see how many pips we would have took just from having all of our indicators from here to here, right? That's crazy. And in a day, still in a day, less than 24 hours, right? That would have been 211 pips. You always divide this number by 10, right? You always divide this number by 10. That would have been 211 pips in 24 hours, right? So if you was using a 10-cent lot size, you could have made $21. If you was using a dollar lot size, you could have made $211 just because look what happened. The EMA and the middle Bollinger Band have crossed, right? Now, if you was even more patient, look at this. Even though we do see some red candles in between here, the market still continued to go up. So you could have been even more patient. Remember, the name of this training is hold on fold. This is the moment where it crossed. Let's actually see how long the market bought before we experienced another cross, right? Let's see. Let's see how long the market went up from that initial point. I'm going to just stop right there because I don't want to go back too far, right? It hasn't even experienced another cross yet. So it's actually still going up, right? It's still going up. So if you would have got into, and remember, you could actually be in for a buy and for a sell at the same time. But if you did, I'm just showing you guys an example of EMA cross right now. If we did get in right here where it crossed and we just actually held it all the way up, we would have made from July 21st. Damn, that can't be from July 21st. That's wrong. I got to fix that. But whenever this is, August 9th, I think August 9th. Yeah, August 9th. If we would have gotten for a buy and we would have held that trade all the way until now, just from that cross, that would have been 576 pips, y'all. 576 pips, which is crazy. Even though it would have took a while, if you would have used 10 cents, that would have been $57. If you would have just held it for 47 days, that would have been, this could have been $576 from a $1 investment just because of that, those two indicators, y'all. So I want you to understand how important, why is this thing down here? Sorry, y'all, let me put my candles back at the top. I don't know how they got down here. Sorry, y'all. I don't know why this is happening right now. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. All right, so yeah, y'all, is this making sense as to why we want to hold, don't fold? Right? Is this making sense? Do we need a SL or a TP? I mean, yeah. I mean, typically when I'm getting into these longer trades, yo, I don't know why my thing is flipped like this. Who did this? How did this even happen? What did I click? It's tripping me out right now. I want this on the other side. I don't know how to move it there. Whatever. This is crazy. This is crazy. But yeah, y'all, hold on for. Let me just refresh this because I just can't. So let me just go check on this trade and see what's happening right now, right? So we're gonna give it some time because we know Euro AUD is actually selling for the week. So most trades do not start off in profit, y'all. But I want you guys to check back. I would say every hour. You're gonna notice that that thing is going to continue to drop. Now if you want to do a SL and TP, this is what you would do. Just make it very easy for yourself, right? Very easy for yourself. Let me go back to Euro AUD. I'm going to put this on the day. I'm going to set up my horizontal lines. And then pretty much your stop loss, since we're using this, we're using a day analysis, and even let me go back to the 4-hour analysis and put my other lines. So give you guys some optional TPs and SLs. So this is what I would do if you want to add a stop loss in TP to this trade. I would get this tool over here, right? It's this tool. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down from the top, right? And I need you guys to write this down because this is going to be the easiest thing that you could do, right? It's the easiest thing that you could do. If you're going to buy, you want to click long position. If you're going to be selling, you want to click short position. To buy is to go long, to sell is to go short. So since this is a sell, you want to click short position, right? And you want to click it on your screen. Doesn't matter where it's at because we're going to change the parameters anyway. It really doesn't matter where it's at, right? You want to click on it, click coordinates, and you want to put in your entry price. So your entry price is going to be the number that you see on MT4. Oh, and I'm in profit. So I know you guys should be in profit because I got in a little late. So you're going to put in your entry price. So this is my entry price, 1.61792, right? And then you're going to put your profit level. Because we're trading for days, you can just always set your profit level at anywhere from 25 to 50 pips. Like it's literally going to be up to you. I'm actually going for 75 to 100, but that's TP2, TP3. For you, you really just want to do at least 50 pips. So after you put in your own profit level, your own entry price, you want to put profit level 500. Remember, because you have to do it by 10. And if we divide 500 by 10, you'll get 50. And you want to do the same thing for your stop loss, right? 500. So then this will actually give you what your TP should be. So if I modify this, or if you go back to your MetaTrader 4 app and modify, you're going to put your TP as whatever it should be after 50 pips. And then you're really just going to let this trade go for days until it hits your TP. So we got 1 point for me. I have 1.61292 for my TP. And my stop loss is 1.62. 1.62292. I'm gonna click modify and then I'm gonna chill out. I ain't gonna do nothing else. Literally nothing else. Now another little tip and trick that y'all can do. Another little tip and trick that y'all can do is in this right corner up here is your calculator. This is very helpful. Especially if you're new. Even if you're not new, it just helps you manage your risk when you're trading. This is actually called the risk calculator. It's right here in the right corner next to the flag, right? Your country. So click that. So your account size. Let's just say your account size is $100, right? You want to put how much percent you want to risk a day, like what you don't want to go over. So let's just say you should never ever risk more than 10% of your account a day. So you will put 10% right there. So it's telling you that the most you can risk for the entire day, or depending you're doing for the week, whatever, right? If you swing trading, you might want to do for the week. It tells you what your risk is, right? $10. You can't use more than $10. Now you know that when you're doing forex trading, you're risking cents, right? So if I want to risk 0.05 per trade, how much is that? That's 50 cents, right? Which means that's 2 trades, which means that's $1, right? You still have $9 more essentially to play with. But this is going to actually include the money that you put into the trade plus the money while the trade is actively going. So if the trade starts to go in the other direction, then you know that you're outside of your risk. But if it's going profit, then it's like, okay, cool. You don't want to increase your daily risk, but you're not in that zone. So remember, we're trading cents, right? So even if you wanted to get into 10 trades with a 0.01 lot size, you're only risking $1. You're only risking $1, right? But your risk amount for the day is $10, right? If y'all understand, drop a 7 in the chat. Okay, thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Shakoya. Thank you, Vanessa. Right? So you put your entry point, right? Put your pair. I'm going to put Euro AUD. That's the pair we're doing. I'm going to put my entry price. My entry price is 1.61792. Oh, how'd you know? And my stop loss is 1.6. It may seem like a lot of numbers, y'all, but the calculator is really doing all the work for y'all. So once you do all that jazz, you put your entry and your stop loss, you click calculate, bam, look at that. It tells you exactly what your lot size should be for this trade, right? It tells you what your lot size should be for this trade. So you have all the information that you actually need for a risk-free trade. Now, of course, if you have a $1,000 account, your risk for the day would be $100. You don't want to lose more than that in all of your trades. So you can actually get into a trade with, let's say, $5 per pip, right? $5 per pip, and get into you don't want to get into 20 trades, but essentially you could do that. And then of course, same thing, entry stop loss, calculate. Now you can actually risk $2 per trade, right? You can risk $2 per trade. You can get jiggy, right? And that means you can be up to 50 trades. And if all 50 trades is in profit and hitting TP, you just risk $2 to make a lot, right? You just really risk $2 to make a lot. So all right, y'all, that's going to conclude our FRX trading and how to get into longer swing trades. Hopefully you guys did take the Euro AUD trade. I'm in it. Our next training is on Thursday. So if you are still in this trade by Thursday, we can talk about it. Anytime it move into profit, we just say when it's blue, it's on you. So you don't really have to be in the trade for all of those days. But remember, you have a SL and a TP for a reason. These the type of trades that you're supposed to have where you set it and forget it. You're not supposed to keep checking it. It's not HFX, and this is the epitome of swing trading. You get into the trade on a certain day, and you get out into the trade days later, but you're mentally prepared for that. And once you really start putting this into practice, you will really see just the importance of it. So let me just check one more trade for y'all. Euro NZD. So for the just one more time for the people that's still in the chat, for the people who took the Euro NZD trade a few days ago, I know somebody was at $29 earlier, somebody was at $12. I want you to check your trade again and tell me where it is now, and again how much you risk to actually make that trade. So Spicy, Tabriana, or Vanessa, your trade should be a little bit more in profit. And it's hold on fold, right? It's really hold on full. So I am going to be posting this video on YouTube, and I will also post it in the Telegram channel as soon as it comes to my email. If you guys would like to book a one-on-one to learn either more about HFX or Forex, you can. I'll post the link in the Telegram chat as well, because this is easy, y'all. Copy, paste, profit is very easy. I know HFX is quick, but I like turning cents into dollars because that is very crazy to me. But everybody have an amazing day, and I will see you guys later. Okay. Yep, she went up from $12 to $13.24. So you're literally learning and earning, like making money in the background while you're on this training. So that's the point I'm trying to show you guys, is that your position is mad important when it comes to trading, and holding and not folding is really the key to success, because I entered some trades in January. Y'all, it's August. Like money's being made. Like money's being made. Like so all right, y'all. I'll see y'all later.